both abductees, one's a contactee, one's an abductee, in two different rooms and asked two different questions. One was, where is the human soul? The other question was, where is the human spirit? And they produced a computer-generated brain or image and asked them to point. My point is that they didn't know.
So if they don't know, they can't steal it.
Duh. I mean, I think we're so right on with this thing.
Right.
They can't steal. The problem is I think the problem is these entities have come a long way.
But are they looking for it, though?
Whatever it is they're looking for, the problem is you're attached to it, and they can't get you from it. God has done something quite remarkable here. The soul belongs to you. It's you. Nobody's going to be able to do anything about that. Your spirit is just your communicator. In my consciousness, this is my viewpoint. The spirit is your ability to contact and to be in contact with God. In other words, if there's an answer, he's going to answer prayer, things like that. That's the communicator, so to speak. When you die, so to speak, the communicator goes back to God who gave it, and you're going wherever your soul went. So, I mean, if that's good, bad, or whatever your consciousness is, that's the way it's going to be.
Well, let me ask you, have you seen the movie The Forgotten? That's a movie.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in that movie, they attempt to steal the memory of people's children. And they try to find out what is the bond between the mother and her son that they couldn't crack it. And they were working on her to try to steal it from her.
I loved the movie because it had MIDS in it. It had all the things that we're very familiar with. And some of these movies, you have to understand, and I'm not bragging here. I'm telling you because I was on the X-Files on the trailer for the movie, X-Files the movie. Yeah. And I asked the guy, I said, you guys stole all my stuff. He said, what are you talking about? I said, where do you think you got implants for the X-Files? He said, we got it from you. Where did you get that fluorescent hand on your trailer? He said, we got it from you. I said, you guys are thieves. So we had a big knockdown, drag out about that. Yeah. So anyway, the point is that I think that the entity is extremely interested in aspects of us, our soul and spirit. They don't know how to separate you from it because if they tend to do that, death occurs. And they lose everything. They lose you. They lose that, too. Mm-hmm. They can't figure out how to get whatever. Somebody's come a long, long way to get what you've got. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting out here playing this stupid game called, well, I'll just go ahead. I'm just a piece of cosmetic slime that just ended up in the back end. We're just in the backwash of the universe. We're nobody important. Really? Well, then why did two things, one's for me, this one for me is, why would God send his son here to the backwash of the universe to do what he did and give up his own son for our lives, for the salvation of mankind? Why would he do that? Number one, if we're nothing. Number two, why is the alien coming here doing what they're doing if we're nothing? Why is that? I mean, the alien themselves, the small alien, the little grays, have an IQ of about 80. They're not very smart. They can't even get your clothes on right. They put you back. That's why you remember things, because they make these huge mistakes. Yeah. There's an ancient scripture that says that smoke to the eyes, and vinegar to the teeth, so is the sluggard to him that sent him. Mm-hmm. And I think these guys make these huge mistakes, and these guys that sent them are just scratching their heads like, oh my gosh, what an idiot. Mm. They make mistakes. That's why we have evidence.
Okay. All right, now we have this question from Thomas. Now, this question hinges on something. He says, by your answer to this question, he'll know whether or not he should try to contact you after the show. And here it is. Have you ever been in an event where you have the smell of spent gunfire present?
I love it. If you read my book, you'd already know the answer to that. There are three smells that are primarily dominant in an abduction experience. And the smell, you're saying that you're referring to gunfire or cordite or sulfur is what you're really talking about. Mm-hmm. Sulfur is only one of the three smells. One of the smells that abductees will often mention is there was the smell of musty, molten, wet leather or dry or wet, moldy cardboard. Those three smells and sulfur are very, very important. We've listed those since the late 80s.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mike wants to know, do aliens use holographic images to trick us to gain their trust?
Thank you. Absolutely brilliant. I love this question. I'm not a Trekkie. My wife loves Star Trek, and she's not an abductee and not into this stuff, but she's very informed of it, of course, because she listens to me harp on it and whatnot. But the point is she loves Star Trek. And one of the things she loves is that holodeck. And I watch it once in a while. I don't care much for it. But the point is that the holodeck is a beautiful illustration of what happens to contactees and abductees. I've got a picture of this one abductee was telling me she had this wonderful experience in the School of Higher Consciousness with this water sprinkling onto her and getting all these wonderful feelings and so on. The fact is there was a witness in the room, and he painted a picture of her, of what was going on, and there's this gigantic 7-foot-tall mantis being standing over her as she's laying nude on this table. And she thinks she's in the School of Higher Consciousness. Do you think there might be a problem with her viewpoint?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
All right, we have this question here. They want to know, besides the similarity of the abduction experience, has there been similar stories from the entities, in this case they say the aliens, people telling, or for them telling the abductee what they're here for? Is there any, are they saying, what's the similarity there?
I love it. Most of the alien whoppers, as I call them, some of them tell us they're from the planet Banlon. Banlon is a deodorant. I'm sorry, it's not another planet.
Okay.
They're from Zeta Reticuli. The point is, listen to me. I've been in the intelligence community. When you tell me stuff like that, and I've caught you lying in 1,000 other cases before I talk to you. In other words, if I find the entities lying in 1,000 cases, and then all of a sudden you come in with this, you got this wonderful look on your face is glowing, you feel like you've seen the face of some alien entity, God or something like that, and you feel all these wonderful feelings, and this is installed stuff. It's installed. And then you tell me that they're here to save the planet or fix it or whatever. Or they came from this planet Zeta Reticuli. Why do I not believe the story? Well, if I'm used to be a cop. If I hear 8 different stories and from 8 different people, and there's a dead body laying there, 7 of you are going to jail. You know what I mean? 7 of you at least are lying.
Okay.
The bottom line is that these entities tell all kinds of whoppers. Now, if I were, I'm going to put on my intelligence hat on for a second. When an alien tells me or other people that they're from Zeta Reticuli or from some vast, distant place, the first thing I think is you're from the local neighborhood, buddy. And you want me looking out there when I need to be looking near here. I was invited to an invitation-only meeting in Pasadena, California. It was a Cassini project before they launched it. And they know who I am, and they know what I do. I have no idea why they invited me and my associate to that meeting. All scientists, all NASA, JPL, all there, and I have no business being there. They know who I am, and they know what I do. And at the end, I asked them, I said, we studied the moon for years, and we finally went. We've been studying Mars for longer. And all of a sudden, you guys decide not to go to Mars. You forego that and decide to go to some distant little moon somewhere around Saturn and Jupiter. And you want to send the first nuclear package up there to go. My question to you, gentlemen, is what did you find at Cassini that you would risk leaving the entire Mars project to go to some distant moon in our neighborhood?
And that is...
That whole room was poleaxed. They never said a word. You don't ask questions like that in meetings like this. I do. You shouldn't have invited me. You knew better.
There you go.
They never said a word. The meeting was, they just discontinued the meeting at that point. Said, thank you for all your questions. Free gifts for everybody in the back, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and what did they find?
Well, in my opinion, the alien that we're looking for, quote unquote, whatever that is, we need to be looking much closer. The gentleman brought up a wonderful question. They smell like sulfur, or cordite or gunfire, whatever you want to call it. Where would you find sulfur on planet Earth?
In the bowels of the Earth?
Inside it.
Right.
Why in the world are you taking the Hubble telescope looking for aliens? If I were an alien, didn't want you to know where I was at, I would tell you I'd look over in Zeta Reticuli, or I'd look in Andromeda. Look in the one of the stars of Orion. That's right there in his belt. That's where we're located. Look at the left side over there. Oh, that's rich. Well, if you're so smart and you're such a hot shot, why don't you just answer my 10 best questions, Mr. Alien? Because if he can answer these questions, number one, he's for real. And number two, he's either telling the truth or lying, and I'm going to be able to prove it.
Mm-hmm. Now, listen, Derrel, apparently in some point you have been playing some alien games. From this email I read,